Hi, I'm Donald Tippanaro with Antique Purveyor, and today we're going to go over a modular tabletop cable management system. These systems could be used on conference room tables, they could also be used on desktops. And today we're going to get into getting you a little bit more acquainted with these systems if you decide to do something like this. This particular unit comes with a 6-inch housing. A typical 6-inch hole saw will get that in. We usually do this for the customer, but that makes it pretty simple. You'll get this bracket, which is going to make everything nice and tight. That bracket will get mounted up from underneath the table to hold everything nice and secure. These systems are going to allow you to have all different types of connections: USB, HDMI, USB-A-B, CAT, Ethernets, and all these HDMI fittings. You name it, you can get it. They all snap. They're all going to snap in securely and give you a nice customized system for your workstation. So whenever we're getting these ready for a customer, we like to start with the electric, the main electric unit. And in this particular case, we set it down maybe 4 or 5 slots down. There are holes all along this housing, allows you to set the depth. We started there. Typically, we like to get these down as far as you can to make room for the plastic housing that usually gets plugged in there. These units are the snap-in housing units. So you're going to see here we have a 5-port and then another smaller one that's a 2-port. So we're going to have the ability to put in 7 different types of connectors in here. This particular customer did a Cat 5. We got some HDMI and a couple USB charging ports. So that's what we're doing here. So the first thing you're going to do when you get this thing, if we haven't done it for you already, is you're going to take that galvanized piece out of the finished housing and get access to all these plugs. These are kind of placeholders. You're pretty much going to remove them, as many as you need to make room for what you plan on installing. These particular units that are going in here, these snap-ons, have 3 sides that you should be aware of. You've got a finger tab, you have a stopper on top, and on the other side of the finger tab, we have what we like to call like the wall. And when these are going into the housing, you're pretty much going to sneak this piece into the housing, and you're going to want to get that wall in first and get that hung up. And then once that's hung up, you're going to push towards the finger tab, and then that piece will fit in. Now they do have tight tolerances, so sometimes you'll struggle getting them in, and you just need to pick up a tool like a screwdriver or anything that's laying around there to help you get the right leverage and to put a little bit of pressure on that finger tab, and it'll just slide in. Okay, these units or these snap-ins must be perfectly centered, and they will only be perfectly centered if you put them in the right way. So you'll see here I'm showing you that this one is centered. Okay, so it was put in correctly. If it wasn't, you'd see an offset position on this. You want them all going in the same way. Once you find true center, have all the other snap-ins go on in the same way, and you won't have a problem getting everything put back together, okay? Here's what your finished product will look like. Here we have 2 placeholders in there because we only had 3 snap-ins for this particular customer. You wanted some room for, we left him some room for extras. Okay, so once you're done getting that all set up, you can put your trim back on, whether it's brushed chrome or black, as you saw here. That's your finished trim. You're gonna put that, wrap that on there, and then get your screws in and get this unit ready to get attached into your housing. It's pretty simple. We're going to work our way back into that unit, and you want to keep that longer edge facing forward and the shorter edge towards the power supply. We like to count the amount of holes that we're setting the screws in, so when we get to the other side, you're not forcing things into the wrong spot. Again, the deeper you go, we feel like the deeper you can go, the better. It's just going to make things a lot easier for you when you start plugging things in. So very easy to move this around too. So when you get it in your place, if you want it higher or lower, you just got to loosen up these screws and send the housing up or down. So it's nothing to be scared of. It's very easy to move these things around. Now the next 2-port bracket that you're going to see us assemble is going to be a little different in this one, because there are a couple shims involved with that, and these next modular units are chargers, so there's going to be some room there for connecting electric to the backs of them. Okay, so this 2-port feels and looks and operates the same, but there'll be some subtle differences. You will take everything out, take everything apart, so you can get access to that silver bracket. Now these parts have a shim, was I just pointing to here? It's a little silvery tab, and it's got these little green connectors on the back. I don't know if they're all green, but these ones are green. They look like old speaker connections. And these shims are going to slide inside the finger tabs, and it's going to lock them into place. I'm not sure why these have locks and the other ones don't. Maybe because they'll have power behind them. But neither way, those shims are going to lock everything into place so that they can't pop out as you're squeezing all this housing together, and as you're assembling everything, these are locked into place. And may stay very sturdy. When this is done right, your housing will fit very comfortably. You'll have to play with it for a little bit, but eventually it'll find its true center of gravity, and it'll snap into place, and all the stars will align, and your threads will line up properly. You'll sometimes even get a nice audio click. And when it all comes together, you'll see that everything lines up and it's ready to handle the screw. And if this part is not going on right, then the chances are that you've got those two parts are in backwards. You'll have to flip them around, okay? And that's it. These are ready for power. Now we're going to put this in a little extra deep, so that the IT guys on the other end can kind of see what's going on with them, because they'll have to get to those green terminals. So we leave them loose, and that'll all make sense to them when they get it over there. Okay, so when this is all done, looks very professional. It's very sturdy. This bracket will get mounted and screwed into the bottom of the table, and then from there, you'll get these long, skinny screws with plastic washes that'll keep everything snug and get all the slop out of it, okay? So this particular part of the video is pretty much for a customer of mine who's getting these in overseas. His name is Gary. Hi, Gary. This is one of the 3 units that we're doing for your conference room table. And I'm just sharing with you that you're going to get 3 boxes, and all 3 boxes will have this in it. You'll have 2 power strips for the 2 bottom chargers. Your IT guys will set up the pass-throughs up above that. Okay, there are the two green areas that your men will wire into to bring power to your chargers. Definitely have them adjust everything to give you the most amount of room in this box. It's going to be a balance between being comfortable when you reach in and having enough room for your plastic and wires and things once you're hooked up. Okay, those are the European universal outlets that you were asking about. Took a long time to get those in, but nonetheless, they're here and they're in. Okay, I think if I was to make one suggestion, I would add some more USB-C chargers. It looks like you got room for 2 more slots in there. The USB-C chargers are pretty popular today. That's all your iPhone and iPads and sort of where everyone's been going. So I'm kind of glad we left you 2 open. I'm going to be sending you the extra plugs. I don't know why you would ever need them, but the plugs that we took out will be coming back to you in that plastic bag. You'll get some zip ties and some instructions and whatnot, which I don't really think you're going to need because we've already gone through all that for you. Okay? So that is where we are with cable management. It's a great system. Well, thanks for checking this out, and if you're interested in getting something like this for a conference room table, we can certainly help with that. And it's also a great add to a executive desk or a partner's desk. They also sell smaller units that are 3.5 inches round instead of 6, so you can do something a little bit more minimalistic. They also have units that connect under tables, so if you want a less invasive solution, we got things like that too. All right. Everything that you need to make this thing go together is here, and we've taken as much as the work out of it for you. And so I just wanted to make sure that you had what you needed and you were set up for success.